Hello, my art-loving friends. In December, I did a series of 4 live event videos here on YouTube where I was opening each gift each day from Kristy Rice's 12-day Advent Calendar. It was more like a 12-day adventure gift box or gift bag, if you will, because the gifts did come in a bag, but same difference, and I think you know what I mean. So let's get into it. Real quick, if you're wondering, well, you already opened the gifts, what's the point of this video? The point of this video is that there were a lot of comments that were people very passionate about their dislike of what they were seeing me open and how they were sad and very disappointed. I think I already said disappointed, but there was lots of disappointment. But I want to tell you exactly the value of all the stuff that was included in her gift bag and maybe give you a little behind the scenes of a YouTube creator look at some of my thoughts and feelings in regards to this gift bag and creating and curating something like this. Okay, to start with, here is everything that was in the calendar. And it actually looks like quite a bit out here on the table for a 12-day Advent calendar. And there's a cat. And I did combine all the paint into this little palette. This little palette did not come with the Advent calendar, but I attached all the paint because I wanted to try everything in here with all the paint. So just so you know, there's that. Let's go through everything and I'll tell you the value. The first thing was this set of greeting cards. There are 10 greeting cards in here, and they are prints of her artwork. And while they are not super thick cards, they are thick enough to be very good. And if any of you have bought greeting cards at the store lately, you'll know that they are about $6 each. Even so, I put this value of only $20 just because that's what I would be willing to pay for it. And so everything in here is basically what it either is valued or what I would be willing to pay for it. I would be willing to pay $20 for this, which makes the value of the box so far $20. I did pay $119 all inclusive. That was my total cost to my door. So we're going to keep a running total of the box over here. On the second day, we received this cutoff from an original painting, so it's part of a larger painting. She cut out pieces. I think that's a brilliant idea, by the way. I will probably end up doing that a little bit here and there. In fact, I have done it a few times in the past for art markets. I just haven't done it for any other reason yet. Even though I don't particularly like this piece of artwork myself, I did feel that it was a value of $25. On the third day is where people were like, excuse me, I'm really disappointed because we just received this grocery bag that she got from somewhere. I don't know where. It's not her artwork, but it has these lemons on it. And she really likes this. And that's part of the thing with these Advent calendars. They kind of need written descriptions of the items included. And that's something I tried to do with my Advent calendar, is to give written instructions, explanations of why I included everything in the calendar, because that helps. If people understand why things like a grocery bag were included, they are more inclined to be a little bit nicer in understanding why something like this is included, because I think it's a very strange item to be included. But then there was a video included with it where she painted lemons in a couple of different styles. And so the video tutorial was, I felt, worth $10. And the grocery bag itself, I was generous in saying that that was worth $2. So here's the total so far. As far as my Advent calendar went, I had a massive printer malfunction at the last second, of course. And I could not include written instructions except in like 6 people's boxes. 34 or so people received PDF links. I hated doing that because I think it is so vitally important to have a written explanation, like I already talked about why things are included in the box and what they're all about. But still, we had the video, we went there, she was excited about her lemons tutorial, the value was there. Day 4 is this Legion paper, and I was very confused about this Legion paper because it's not watercolor paper and she is a watercolor artist, but I painted all of these on it with watercolor. This one was very wet. I just really wanted to try a very wet wash on it, and I dropped paint into it and water into it, and it held up beautifully. So even though it is considered drawing paper and not watercolor paper, it is still 100% cotton, and it handled the watercolor beautifully. Because I am part of her Facebook group, I did notice that people received just random pads of this paper. So while I received this one, there were some people that received the hot press watercolor paper and some people that received the cold press watercolor paper, and etc. and so on for all the different papers they have. I don't think there was Yupo paper involved, but for all the regular paper surfaces, this was just a random throw in the box, see who got what. And it worked great. Like I said, this was no problem at all with watercolor. I valued this at $2, which is generous because these are often in the buy it, try it at Jerry's Artorama, and you can get them sometimes, occasionally, for less than $2. So $2 value. On day 5, we received these 2 quarter pans. One of these is Sennelier's Cadmium Red Purple, and the other is Holbein's Leaf Green. The Sennelier Cadmium Red Purple I valued at $2.50 based on my research, and the Holbein Leaf Green I valued at $5.50 for a total of $8 that day. They are both really nice colors. So here's the total value of the box so far. Day 6 is this set of 10 4x6-inch coloring cards, and the paper is pretty thin, but not extremely thin. I would guess this is 90-pound paper, but I don't know. There are, like I mentioned, 10 different coloring pages here, which I think is great. If I had to guess, this is hot press watercolor paper. It's very smooth, but not uber smooth, if that even is a word. Anywho, I started to do this painting in the day that I actually opened this on the live stream, and I finished it up on my own. It's kind of interesting. There's a bunch of texture on it, like grit, and it must be from one of these paints. I just don't know which one it's from. But I find it interesting. So anyway, I think this was great. It was awesome. And I valued this at $9. That's what I felt I would be willing to pay for it. And I'm just gonna let this speed time-lapse thing run for just a moment so you can see this card finished up. I know you can see it on the other page, but it might be nice for you guys to see how some of the paint worked, even though we haven't really been introduced to all of the paint yet, but I think it's fun to watch. On to day 7, and this is where some people got a little bit upset. They're like, what the heck is this? So I received this Stella Works, that's the name of the store, ceramic heart. First of all, this is beautiful. Yes, I did not understand what it had to do with watercolor, but to be fair, Kristy did say in her advertisement, or I guess the product page for this advent calendar, that it was just artistic works by many small businesses, or a few small businesses, I guess I should say. It was to support small businesses and whatnot. It was not just watercolor related. So I felt that a ceramic brush rest would have been a lot more appropriate, and I said that in my live stream. However, this is nice, this is beautiful, and it does showcase exactly what Stella Works does in her shop, which is lovely. By researching her page, I valued this at $13, making the value of the box this so far. This heart also came with a video tutorial, which I valued at $10. So that makes the value of the box so far that. Day 8 was very exciting. So as I opened some things and there was some disappointment, things did get much more interesting. Day 8 was this Robin's Egg Blue by Beam Paints. They sell these at $14 each on the website for bean paints. And I know, because I included I included 2 in my Advent box, which I'm still going to show you, don't worry. However, not everyone received this color. Again, it was a random selection of whatever color you received, which I think is a little bit disappointing. I kind of like it when everyone receives the same colors, because then you can do artworks and you can compare what you got versus someone else as far as the result of your artwork, but that's neither here nor there. The value was $14, which is a good value, and this is the value of the box now. I think you're probably seeing that the value of the box is there. Day 9 had 6 31 Purple Fish watercolor samples in these colors here, which you can see I have added to this palette. And they are the ones in the clear little, I don't know what these are, 3mm pans, tiny pans. So that's very exciting, because to get a 31 Purple Fish color is very hard. You have to be following her on Instagram and catch exactly when she releases new colors or new batches of colors and try and catch them before they sell out. So the fact that we get to try 6 of them was pretty awesome. So I valued these monetarily at $6.50, just based on the prices that she sells her watercolors normally. And normally her watercolors are sold in a pan this large. Can you see the difference in size? Yeah, huge difference. So I felt monetarily these were worth $6.50. But the fact that they're nearly impossible to get unless you're looking at Instagram every single morning, every day, makes them a little more valuable than $6.50. But we have to talk money here. So $6.50, making the value of the box this so far. On day 10, we received this little package with 2 stickers from the Gray Muse. And then behind the stickers is a QR code. And when you go to that link, it is just a thank you letter for supporting this small business. The stickers on this website sell for between $3 and $5 each. So I valued these stickers, both of them together, and this whole package at $7.50, making the value of the box this so far. Day 11 is this Paint Your Own Holiday Decorations with illustrations by Kristy Rice. There are 30 gold foil decorations in this box, plus a dot card. So there is this brochure explaining the decorations, the dot card, which you can see I've used here, and then generously 30 of these gold foil decorations, and they do have a different design on the front than they do on the back. They also came with the ribbon, so you could hang them on a tree, and a small paintbrush, which I don't remember if I used. I think I did, actually. But the only one I painted, I painted 2, but apparently, I did. I painted the front and back, which in my mind was 2. Anyway, here is the front, and then I painted the back. So my thoughts on this is that this is a pretty great value, considering there are 30 pieces of paper that are double-sided. The paper is pretty thin. Again, I'm feeling that it's a little less than 90 pounds, but for the small detailed things, as long as you're not doing big washes like I did here, it holds up pretty well. Even this big wash held up decently well. I did try and flatten it a little bit, and you can see that it's pretty flat. However, just doing the front and back of this used up this much of the dot card, and this is the only paint that came with this kit. So even though this kit sells for $23, it's often on sale for about $16.83 or so. And I don't feel like you could paint any more than 5 of these. Maybe that's generous. Before you run out of paint on the dot card. So you definitely would need to have your own paint available to get through 30 of them. So it was a nice thought, a nice idea. I still think the value is there, but the paint paint dot card is disappointing in this particular kit. However, again, the value is there. So with this now, the total value of the box is here. So I think you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? Value is here. And then what was supposed to be the last day, we had the most valuable item that came in this extremely heavy-duty, thick, fancy box where once you finish this journal, you could store it in here on a bookshelf and have just this beautiful box there. And this is her new Artvival journal, watercolor sketchbook with guided exercises. So there are sections throughout this entire journal where you have 3 pieces of watercolor paper and then you have another section. So this is telling you what you can do in the next section. So I did this page here. This is not cotton paper. She did not want to use cotton paper in here because she didn't want you to feel like this was super precious. She wanted you to use it, enjoy it, get your frustrations out on this. And so it's not cotton paper. However, the paper was perfectly enjoyable to use. So after 3 pages of blank paper, basically, you get a new section and she gives you an idea of what you could maybe do in the following sections. So I only painted the 2 pages you have seen so far and did not paint any more in here, but it was fine. It was absolutely fine. And yes, I got mud here. That was my own choice with the colors that I chose. It had nothing to do with the paper. It had nothing to do with anything but my choice in the paper. So this journal actually sells for a very crazy amount of money. It's $48. However, I have published my own coloring book myself. I didn't have a publisher do it like she did, which I imagine probably costs even more money. And I could not do my coloring book with only 25 pages with 100% cotton paper at a small size, just slightly smaller than this one. Not by a whole lot, just it's this size here basically. Okay, so mine cost a lot of money to do. Bind it, all of that. I don't even have the hard cardboard front and back like she does. I don't have this fancy rose gold, all of that, none of that. So $48 is a lot. I would not buy it in a store at full price, but I understand why it costs so much. This also came with a QR code where you can look up a video. It's actually a live stream she recorded in the past that she's just reusing. So when this first came out, whenever it did first come out, she recorded a live stream using this, and then she just made that link available to those of us who bought this advent calendar. And the live stream, I think, is about 1 hour and 16 minutes long, if I'm remembering correctly. I didn't value the live stream like I did the other videos just because it is something she had already recorded for something else. So including the link just didn't cost her anything extra. So with this Artvival journal, which is where the advent calendar should have ended, except there's a couple things I need to tell you still, this is the value of the box. It's a lot, right? It's worth it. It is worth it. Plus, knowing why she chose some things in here is invaluable. So in my advent calendar, there was a bonus day 13, and bonus day 13 had this little sample pan watercolor by Designs by Rachel Beth. I think that's the name of the company because Designs by, because I bought some more because the advent calendar in the little bag that the sample watercolor came in, which is this color, by the way, there was a discount code for 30% off her website, and I used that 30% off. And I bought these palettes here, which I did swatch in a video, which I will link in the corner for you and in the description box. I think they automatically go to this description box now, but that was super fun. And I also got a couple of bookmarks with some dot cards that just break off, which is fun. That was kind of fun. And I valued that number 13 bonus thing at nothing. So even without valuing the bonus day, which you should put some monetary value on that one. The box is still worth that. Plus there's more. All of this came in a canvas bag. You could choose either white or cream or this black, and I chose the black. And it's a medium quality, like I said in the live stream, bag. So it's not super cheap, it's not super expensive feeling, but I feel like it will hold up quite nicely. Plus, it has a zipper top. And if you've ever hauled around art supplies, the zipper top is really nice to have. And inside is just open except for this pocket here. And there's the side pockets that are actually big enough to hold a water bottle. Isn't that nice? Jazza could learn something from that. Anyway, plus front pocket. I valued this at $20. If you go and try and buy a bag like this these days, you're probably going to pay $20. So now the value of the box, bag, I guess I should say, is this. So even though some of you in the comments, and I get that, I get it. If you got this yourself, you would be disappointed, this and that, but let's talk about this a moment. The value is there. I paid $119, and the value of the box is way more than that. Plus, it's the experience. Getting to open a present every day, not knowing what's inside, the experience of an Advent box is incredibly huge part of the value. So yes, the monetary value needs to be there. Yes, it's sad to feel some disappointment on days, but some of these days were very exciting and very valuable, and I think this is actually decently done. There are still some things I wouldn't put in an Advent box, some things I don't understand, mostly this. Yeah, the stickers, I don't know. I really love stickers, but some people don't think that they're great, and I was not excited to receive them, even though I like stickers. I didn't really understand this. But now, hearing some of her explanations on the day that she had the video about this, that all helps. So the lesson for me is in my Advent boxes, get the darn printer working and print stuff way ahead of time. So if I have printer issues, you guys can get an explanation of why I included something. It's just so important. We need to know the thought behind the item in an Advent box. And I think that's what some of the big companies are missing. Like Meeden, although I really enjoyed Meeden's box, but an explanation of why something is included makes it all better. It makes it clear. However, even without that explanation, which we did kind of get in the couple of days she had video links, this Advent bag, I guess, I keep wanting to call it a box, but it came in a bag, was worth the value. It's so easy for us on the internet to be quickly judgmental. I don't know, that's kind of a harsh word, but I just think that we all can be really easily misunderstood online. People don't know our history. They don't know what's in our hearts. And so having an explanation of that would be helpful. I guess my point is, even though there is some history with Kristy Rice and some stuff that has happened in the past with some of her paint reviews and all of that, we're all human. So be gentle when you're out there on the internet world typing in your comments, because we don't actually know the whole story. Well, I hope you found this video interesting. I sure did when I looked into this, and it was fun to use all these products together when I played with them, so I don't regret my purchase. I probably will not purchase another one from Kristy Rice just because, I don't know, it's just not something I'm interested in, I guess. But don't take that wrong, because I also probably won't purchase one from Etcher again either, just because now that I've had 2 of their mystery boxes, I don't really feel like I'm missing anything from Etcher. So it's not that I don't like the companies or I don't like the person, although I don't really watch very many of Kristy Rice's videos. I don't know, I just, the florals is not something I vibe with, even though I love the message she puts out there about just painting to paint for paint's sake. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I won't purchase again in the future, probably from Kristy Rice or Etcher. But I might from other companies and other individuals, which is always fun to think of. Now I'm just rambling, so I'm going to let you go because you've seen what you need to see. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Poor baby, so hot.
If I want to go left, I want to turn it left.
Wants air conditioning.
What a cutie. Better hope your mowboard's out of the way that you're tired.
Just got their eyes open like 2 days
Luckily, it's
ago.
got this magic little button. Push it, and it turns the center.
Well, there comes the mama wannabe.
Yeah, I've only been on that one